Good morning, everyone. This is Brad Matheny. Happy Wednesday. Today is the 9th of October, middle of the week. We are going to take a look at what's going on today. We are going to, first off, look at the SPY cycle patterns. We have a breakaway in counter trending mode. Now, a counter trending mode normally means that we're going to see some sort of a downward move. Now, a breakaway in this case, you can see how I drawn it in this area, potentially breaking to the downside. In this case, breaking to the downside from yesterday's move. It can be a breakaway or it can be an attempted breakaway. So, we take a look at yesterday's open to close range, puts us in this area here. Try to make this a little brighter for you. And know what I here's our pretty much our open to close range. So a breakaway would be a breakaway of that range, theoretically. Okay. And what we're looking at, if we do get a breakaway, I can imagine we get something, similar to an entry in this area, an open in this area, rolling down and potentially getting out of this area into consolidation in this area. So remember, we're really looking at, a breakaway that may not be excessively large, pretty much into yesterday's range. You can see again that we've got, moderate resistance setting up. Oh, yeah, that's what I pasted. So we've got moderate resistance setting up here. I had indicated that this would be a sell potential trigger this morning on this pullback. We're looking to see, and let me get rid of this and do this again. We're looking to see some sort of a buy trigger out here near the end of the day, setting up possibly near some lows. I do believe that, we could see a flush move reverting back into some sort of a moderate squeeze near the end of the day. I mean, I'm really expecting today to be um, somewhat moderate. It may seem counterintuitive with a breakaway in counter trend mode, but I'm looking at, we have explosive price trending. We're in a bullish long term trend. We're in a warning, meaning we've rolled over on the short term trend. We got daily bias bullish, weekly bias bullish. I'm kind of really expecting price to want to, create, and you can almost see it here, this kind of rolling base bottom here. Okay, I'm kind of expecting price to, if it does pull back, it's going to pull back into this rolling area like I've highlighted right here, and attempt to just stay around this basing bottoming, looking for the big breakout phase. So today would give us really near whatever lows we get today, near the end of the day or mid end of day. This is going to give us, in my opinion, the last big buy opportunity before we see this rally phase. And you can see we move into carryover and carryover mode, inside breakaway and trending mode, gap up lower and counter trend mode, which would be a gap down higher. Then we get a gap breakaway in trending mode, breakaway in carryover in trending mode, and a temporary bottom in trending mode. I believe next week we move into, well, Thursday, Friday, as you can see, we move into moderately strong upward trending. And I think this is going to be the last little buy area over here near the end of the day today, the lows. I mean, you can buy in the uptrend, no problem, but this is going to be the area over here that we get the weakened price action to try to buy near these lows today. And of course, we take a look at this. We take a look at how this works. This was our go flat. Remember, we were buying into the rally. Okay. So we had to sell here, we had to buy here, we had to go flat on the previous day, we had to buy area near the lows, we had to sell area up near the highs yesterday. Now we're looking at a counter trend, buy area down here near the lows. So again, ideally, this is playing out very, very well. We just need to wait and see what the markets do today. Generally, it's going to probably contract downward, maybe find some support in the last, hour and a half of trading. We'll see how it plays out. Okay, QQQs. Nice breakaway move here. Very solid breakaway trend. Okay, let's come over here and take a look. So there's our excess phase peak pattern rolling into this consolidation phase. We've rolled out of it. I don't know what all of these are. Get rid of them. And we're rolling into that sideways rolling trend right now. In a way, folks, we have set up another excess phase peak. You can see we've come up, peaked, rolled down, set up a flagging formation. And I'll set those to some darker color. So we should be cautious of some sort of rolling trend over here. But again, I see that we're, in my opinion, moving into Q3 earnings, moving into this early stage Santa rally. And with the economic data we still have, barring again any major conflicts or any major catastrophe, I see us melting upward into this area, the 508 to 512 area. So I would expect this excess phase peak pattern here to play out and to continue to push higher up into this area before we establish a high. And then I think that's going to be really where we get concerned. That's probably going to be closer to the pre-election time frame. Maybe out in this area, maybe out like this around the 20th, 24th, 25th of October. And that would give us a pretty strong roll in price to be able to move up, maybe consolidate up into this area. And then I think we get the rollover in price. So we're really just, at this point, staging through this consolidation and this pullback, which originally, started off with the Israeli conflict, but it was due. It really was due for price. Remember, we had gotten into this mode. We had this rolling excess phase peak pattern, and we got above it right over here, only to do what? Set up another excess phase peak pattern. So we are technically bullish. We don't have any breakdown. The flagging pattern is, if I draw it more accurately, is really in this range here. So there's our flagging pattern. And here's our excess phase peak coming down into this area. And there's our flagging pattern. And we have yet to really break away from it. We need to just see how this plays out. I think that it's the Qs are going to melt upward. And like I said, we're going to have a bit of volatility related to the breakaway and counter trending mode. Okay. That's what we're looking at right now, breakaway and counter trending mode. So let's come over here and take a look at gold. I have a gold chart as well back here. There's our gold pattern. We're in a consolidation pattern today. So we come over here and take a look at gold. I have it running on this chart. You can see how we've consolidated down near these lows after this big breakdown. Very important to understand this 2632 area is acting again as support. So, and I mentioned yesterday that any move below 2620 would likely invalidate this entire uptrend. That would be an establishment of a new low. So we've got to see these lows hold up. The dollar is still strengthening a bit. We had this kind of a washout low, is what I call it. And again, people can disagree with me. I getting comments on TradingView. People disagree. Whatever. I mean, I'm giving you my best advice. I don't see them doing anything but going out and stroking their own ego or whatever. But the long and short of it, I live and die by these analysis. I put them out there, and I try to help you guys out. And I'm not foolproof, but I'm certainly trying my best to help. And I think I do a pretty good job. In fact, I got a comment yesterday from a guy about how spot on I've been. Yeah, I try to. I try to give you the best content that I can deliver, not necessarily hype and not necessarily, fluff or anything else. It's just all about what I see and what's going on in the chart. Now, we can argue, folks, that in this gold trade, we've got kind of a dual type of a peak here. So understand that we've got the peak here, we come down, and you could argue that we've moved into flagging this way, right? Okay, valid. I see that as valid. That's a valid kind of a move. We've got to see what we have here. Remember, I can argue that, we've rolled into here, we've flagged, we've come down, we've set up this, we've come up, we've rolled, consolidated, and set up our ultimate low. There's another excess phase peak pattern. So if that's our ultimate low, and this is in the midst of flagging, okay, this means that we need to rally back on out. Now you can see that we're rallying, pulling back, flagging, rallying, pulling back, flagging, rallying, pulling back, flagging. So we're getting a lot of upward continuation movement in this chart, right? It is showing upward trending. And we do have to get above this level here in order for us to actually see some upward trending. So we've got to get above 2640, 2641 for us to break into this trending. But now understand that we also have this downward peak, pullback, and now flagging. And this is again why I believe that we're going to be seeing more upward trending. Let me make it dark red. So here's the inverted excess phase peak pattern. Okay, we have this level here, which was our breakaway pattern to try to get into a rally phase of the failed bullish patterns. So remember, we come back here, here's our flagging, we get above this, we move into a breakaway phase above this pullback. We still have to eventually try to get back above this level on the excess phase peak pattern up here. That would be our ultimate high way up there. But if you can understand this pullback phase, if we are breaking away from this phase, then what's going to happen in this mode, and I'm going to pinpoint this for you or try to, in this mode, remember the excess phase peak pattern comes down. Okay, come here. Comes down, sets a peak, moves into flagging, and then breaks to a high, and then consolidates, and then breaks to an ultimate high. Ooh, I let go. Yeah, something's not working right. Hold on. The way it works is it comes down, flags, breaks to a high, consolidates, and then breaks to an ultimate high. There we go. So this is the way the excess phase peak pattern works in a inverted format. It's the same way it works in a format. So here's our number 2. Here's our number 3, which is the breakdown. Here's our number 4, which is the consolidation. And here's our number 5, which is the ultimate high. So we have these structures in place already in gold. That are setting up, and we're moving towards this number 3 level right here. We're moving from a 2 up into a 3. And what a move like that would look like is we would be looking at the breaking of the flag, which we've already got technically, and then a rally above this level, this red line, moving up into potentially this area, consolidating, and then moving up into some ultimate high. So we're already moving in some technical confirmation that is going to provide an upward trend, an upward potential trend bias for gold. Okay. And it's this inverted excess phase peak pattern that's setting up with a excess phase peak pattern that's about to break out. If we can get above 2640, call it 43 on a close, actually call it 20, 43, 45, somewhere, just call it 2643, 2644 on a fairly strong close. We will have broken above this level. We will have confirmed the inverted excess phase peak pattern, and we will be off to the races. Okay, if we get below this level, really the inverted level here, which is 2627, that's more of a concern for me. Okay, that really is more of a concern in the sense that, and I'm going to get rid of some of these lines. In the sense that getting below this level, or actually this low 2623, 2624 basically, would indicate that we're pushing down into these new carryover trends, meaning that we're going down. And that's why I think this 2620, 2624, that's the area that we need to be really cautious of in gold. Right now, I'm looking for this move. Okay, this is what I think is likely going to happen given the fear factor and given what's going on in the markets. Okay, we'll look at silver real quick. I don't want to take forever. Same type of setup. I mean, you can see we've got much stronger downtrend. Come over here and eliminate this. And again, we'll just look at the downward cycle trend. So down cycle, pullback, flagging, broke the lows, downward trending, pullback, flagging, little bit of a failure, broke the lows. We continue to move down, downward trending, flagging. We broke it. We never got to a higher high here. We rolled back over, broke the lows at this level. We're in downward trending, downward flagging, came down, broke the lows. We're in downward trending, downward flagging, broke the lows. Here we're in downward trending, downward flagging, broke the lows. We're in downward trending. So again, right here, we're looking at downward pullback into this area. We come across here with our flagging. Now we've broken out and we are, got to check. Looks like we're pretty darn close to, yeah, silver actually has confirmed a upward rotation. Gonna make sure this is correct, but I mean, I can already see it. So right there is about the highest rejection point we've got, and we've already rolled into this mode. Guess what? This is a very good sign for gold and silver. And what it means is that we are going to likely see silver move up, possibly into this area, reaching that number 3 level, begin a consolidation phase, and then move up to an ultimate high. So this is really that inverted number 3 of the excess phase peak. This is number 4, the consolidation, and this is number 5, the excess phase peak. And can you see it? It's right here. This is, let me come over here, grab this. It's right there. That bar right there broke above the rejection area, which are the areas that price shows us where it struggles. Confirm this higher high. I want to see it rally above this level. So it's at 30.97 right now. Great. Okay. We really want to see it rally here. This next phase here can be anywhere. It can be here, it can be here, it can be here, it can be way up here. We have to wait now and see where this number 3 pattern sets up. And the way we would know that it sets up is it would find a peak, it would rally up hypothetically like this, stall, and then consolidate. That's how we would know that we've gotten into this number 3. It finds a peak, stalls, and consolidates. How much consolidation? Kind of like this. This is a good example of consolidation right here. Okay, so looking very interesting for silver, which is good news for gold, by the way. So even though I don't believe gold has that breakaway, I didn't see it. Yeah, not yet. So here's the level. You can see the rejection level right here. We don't have it yet. Close, but silver's leading the way right now. So we've got a pretty good indication that silver is going to be our uh, our leader, our light, so to say, in the tunnel, trying to figure out what's going on. And lastly, we go to Bitcoin. So we'll come over here to Bitcoin. And Bitcoin is considering what I've been talking about. Whoops. Remember, I've been telling you how it's going to consolidate and it's going to trend downward. This is a 30-minute chart. And I still believe, I'll come over here to hourly. I still believe we're going to have to see Bitcoin move downward into consolidation. So now look at this. And we have a peak. We have a pullback. We have a higher close. So this would become our new peak. We have a pullback. We have flagging. So in this case, guys, we've got a peak, pullback, somewhat flagging. And then we do have a breakdown and we do have consolidation. So here's our breakdown and consolidation. I mean, it's not much below and technically it's not below this lowest level, but it is below that rejection level. So I would say that we now are, leading probably 60-70% chance right now of a breakdown. And the breakdown could move us into this area or down into this area, trying to establish a new lower low. We've broken the flagging pattern. We are just barely holding up in this 62,000 level. And my personal belief is that if we get below really this level here, probably right in this level, 61,900 essentially, I would say all bets are off. And I would say that we're probably looking at a move right back down into this area, the 59 to $61,000 area. And again, given what's going on, given this pullback, and again, given the fact that we have, again, you can see this big broader pattern, okay, down, breaking down. We're trying to extend this downward. So here's our flagging off that peak. We need to see it try to hold up above this level. So in reality, this is a decent carryover trade. We have an inverted pattern. We also have an inverted pattern here. You can see come down through here, and now we're flagging. So again, I mean, I can draw on this chart over and over again, but I hope you guys can see these excess phase peak patterns. I mean, look, this is a bullish pattern setting up because flagging goes up. Bearish patterns, flagging goes down. So flagging, sorry, did that wrong. Flagging would be like this. So here's our peak, here's our pullback, here's our flagging. So at this point, we need to either break to the upside to eliminate this, or we're going to continue to extend downward in this pattern. So you have an excess phase peak here that has weakened into a downtrend. and you have an excess phase peak here that is flagging into trend continuation until it breaks this flagging. To me, this has got a 60-70% chance of downside move. I don't see a big breakaway setting up yet, although it could. We are consolidating, no doubt about it. Bitcoin's probably not going to go anywhere through the rest of the week unless there's some big impulse move through this breakaway. So we're just going to kind of wait and see. My gut tells me that we need to come back down here and kind of reestablish these lows. That's what I think is really in place right now for Bitcoin. Okay, guys, let's go get it today. Now, remember, today is going to be more of a consolidation day for the markets with gold, with silver, with SPY and QQQ. Even Bitcoin is struggling to get out of the way. So today is going to be a day where, play it easy. If you want to trade, go for it is my advice. But, try trading maybe 20, 25, 30% of your normal allocation size, because I think today is going to be overall fairly difficult. Even though it's a counter trend breakaway, I think it's going to be fairly flat, fairly muted. Okay, guys, go get some.